Spring, 1943. World War II is at its peak. The Allies face a chilling question: how to invade Hitler's fortress Europe. Their target is Sicily, the soft underbelly of Axis power. But everyone knows it. Hitler knows it, and he's fortified it. A direct invasion would be a bloodbath. So, how do you fool the enemy when the truth is staring them right in the face? The answer came from the darkest corners of espionage, a plan born from desperation and brilliant, macabre genius. The idea? To trick the most cunning dictator in history, Adolf Hitler himself, using a web of lies, a few fake documents, and one very dead man. The Mediterranean was the key to Europe. With North Africa secured, the next logical step was Italy, but Sicily stood in the way. Operation Husky, the invasion of Sicily, was essential, but Allied intelligence painted a grim picture. German and Italian forces were deeply entrenched, the coastal defenses nearly impenetrable. Even Winston Churchill admitted the problem. Calling Sicily the obvious target, attacking directly meant sending thousands of young men to their deaths against impossible odds. A diversion wasn't just a good idea, it was a desperate necessity to save lives. Enter two remarkable and somewhat eccentric figures from British naval intelligence, Ewan Montagu and Charles Cholmondeley. They were part of a secret unit dedicated to misleading the enemy. Their early ideas were wild. From creating vast networks of fake agents to planting radios on derelict submarines. But then came the concept that would become known as Operation Mincemeat, a plan so bizarre, so audacious, it bordered on insanity. The idea was elegantly simple: plant misleading. Top-secret invasion plans on a corpse, floated ashore where German spies would find it. And let Hitler believe the lie. The first, and most grim, requirement was a body. It had to be a man who looked like he'd died in an accident at sea, specifically a plane crash, so an autopsy wouldn't reveal the truth. Montagu approached a London coroner, who found them a tragic and unlikely candidate, a 34-year-old homeless man named Glyndwr Michael. He had died from ingesting rat poison, a cause of death that, grimly, mimicked the effects of hypothermia and drowning. Crucially, Glyndwr Michael had no family to claim his body, making his secret enlistment tragically possible. His entire identity would be repurposed for the war effort, with the body secured. The meticulous work of creating Major William Martin of the Royal Marines began. This fake officer was given a backstory so rich and detailed. It blurred the lines between fiction and reality. His wallet was filled with carefully chosen items: love letters from a fictitious fiancée named Pam, theater ticket stubs, an overdue tailor's bill, a receipt for an engagement ring, and a photo of Pam. Each item was designed to paint a vivid picture of a real person. Someone whose sudden death would be a tragedy, and whose briefcase would be taken seriously. But the most crucial items were two letters. One was a personal note from a high-ranking general to another, and the second from Admiral Lord Mountbatten, hidden within casual chatter. These letters contained the poison pill, convincing mentions of upcoming Allied invasions of Greece and Sardinia, with Sicily being presented as nothing more than a feint. On April 19, 1943, Glyndwr Michael, now Major Martin, was sealed in a canister packed with dry ice. He was transported to Scotland and loaded onto the British submarine HMS Seraph. On April 30th, off the coast of Wales, Spain, a neutral country but crawling with German spies, the canister was opened. Major Martin, wearing a life vest, was gently pushed into the sea. The currents had been calculated to carry him directly to the Spanish shore. Montagu and his team could only wait. Their fate, and the fate of thousands of soldiers, now resting on the whims of the tide and the gullibility of the enemy. Days later, a Spanish fisherman discovered the body. The British vice-consul in Huelva, who was secretly a British agent, was immediately informed. He played his part perfectly, making a huge fuss about retrieving the body and its precious briefcase. The Spanish authorities, though officially neutral, had pro-German sympathies and allowed German intelligence, WWII, to borrow the documents. They photographed every single page, and here's the brilliant part. Montagu had placed a single eyelash inside one of the sealed envelopes. When the documents were returned, the LS was gone. The trap had been sprung. The intelligence raced up the chain of command, landing directly on the desk of Adolf Hitler. Hitler, who was famously paranoid and distrustful of his own generals, was completely sold. The personal, detailed effects of Major Martin made the deception feel absolutely real. He bought it, hook, line, and sinker. He immediately ordered significant German forces, including the elite 1st Panzer Division and vital air and naval units, to be transferred away from Sicily to reinforce Greece and Sardinia. The legendary General Rommel himself was sent to inspect the defenses in Greece. The German High Command, now convinced Sicily was just a diversion, moved their strength exactly where the Allies weren't going. On July 10, 1943, Operation Husky, the Allied invasion of Sicily, began. As predicted, the German and Italian defenses were weaker, spread thin, and completely unprepared for the sheer scale of the attack. Allied casualties were dramatically lower than anyone had dared to hope. The invasion was a resounding success, paving the way for the fall of Mussolini and the Allied push into Italy. A dead man had saved thousands of lives. Glyndŵr Michael, the poor Welshman whose life ended in anonymity, had become one of the greatest unsung heroes of the war, his true identity a secret for decades. Operation Mincemeat stands as one of the most brilliant and audacious deceptions in military history. It wasn't just about forging documents, it was a masterclass in psychology. It was about understanding the enemy's mindset, predicting their reactions, and weaving a story so compelling it overcame all suspicion. In the darkest hours of the war, a team of intelligence officers, armed with imagination and a corpse, proved that the most powerful weapon of all can sometimes be a perfectly told lie. Thanks for watching. If you found this story as incredible as I did, please hit that like button and subscribe for more amazing stories from history. See you next time.